Many moons ago I was working for a large technology company. It was common practice for managers on the same team to exchange some sort of token holiday gift just before Christmas, something under $20. One of these managers was a very nasty woman who was quietly bullying some of her employees and one of the other managers on our team. We were trying to deal with her through the proper channel. The holidays sprang up in the meantime. When the holidays came around, I bought a case of a nice red wine that I enjoyed and prepped them all with gift bags. Except one bottle, the bottle for the nasty manager. I took that bottle and spent about 2 weeks heating the bottle and chilling the bottle by wrapping it in a particularly warm heating pad and standing it on top of my old apartment's hot water heater for 1 or 2 hours, then sticking it in the freezer until the bottle was cold to the touch. My goal was to ruin the wine, turn it to vinegar. The holidays came and I gave my fellow managers the gift wine, and we all headed out of the office for a few days for company-wide OOO. When we came back, everyone was talking about how wonderful the wine was, except the nasty manager, who was surprised everyone loved it. She was going on about how nasty it was and how bad it smelled and how she couldn't even drink it. It was intended as a harmless prank, but when she was fired a few days later for bullying people, she exploded and mentioned my shitty wine in her tirade as she threw things around the office on her way out the door. I felt some degree of pride about that because fuck her for bullying people.
Good thing the company realized how toxic she was. Shitty managers are bad for everyone.
I thought by skunked you meant that you farted in it.
Would enjoy this, I think.
What were the other worst ones, if you don't mind me asking?
When I read it I was like, so she farted on it.
Never heard of skunking before.
Honestly ingenious, like everyone saying such a good wine, and that bitchy manager going what a should wine makes her look terrible, like how clever is that?
I thought it was worse, but I could figure out how you'd record it. ILL supposed to see what they think.
I am glad as a horizontal team member you recognized that there were other people lower on the food chain who were getting bullied and did something about it. Sounds like she was really full of piss and vinegar there at the end.
And haha, so glad I'm not the only one.
That's hilarious. Did he bring enough beer to share?
Imagine if she were gifted the wine.
Campaigning is going so well, why would we need these guys who cost us a fortune anyway?
Revenge is best served cold or hot or cold. Beer can be skunked. You check your ballroom dates, people.
Heading to your dose and tea. Skunking have to do with UV reaction, and not temperature change.
So I'm supposed to smell for a musty teen, got it.
Welcome to America.
They say wine tastes as good as your heart is pure.
That's not that common, but if you ever get a bottle that is
skunk, most places will take a return on it. They just send it back to the vendor.
Nice job, office justice was served.
Company is doing so well, why would we need these guys who made us a fortune anyway? For some reason I took skunk as shoving the tip
of the bottle up your ass.
The even supply chain lesson 101. Beer goes from cold to hot, and vice versa many times between the brewery distributor
and retail store.
This sounds just like a manager I used to have, except she lasted years at my company. She was truly awful, and hardly anyone could stand her.
Force produced by an electromagnetic current.
Nope, never drank a single beer. Definitely didn't spend any summers working at a beer
distributor either. Hear real truth about skunked beer 96,244. I hope that's what he did, even though I know what's skunk.
Bill is still holding out hope.
Yeah, there's a pretty big difference between gradual temperature. Change is also not great for wine, generally speaking, but it won't cause all the wine to go.
Add and essentially cooking the wine.
Is there like a support group somewhere for people dealing with shitty managers and coworkers?
That's a little different. Smelling the cork is supposed to let you detect.
Corked wine has a musty smell from cork taint.
I have just laid my ass off at this post. Thank you for sharing.
Beer can get skunked just by being in the sun if it has. Hops in it innocent tea in a shielded bottle. Sounds like he did everyone a huge favor up. Did everyone clap though?
A whole bunch of well-actually type folks around these parts. What was he taking a cot with?
People like you are the quite unsung heroes of our world.
Or AITA.
No one was poisoned. What Op did would make the wine smell and taste bad, but it wouldn't be dangerous at all.
Cork taint sounds like a disease where your taint skin is so dried out that it resembles rough cork cracks and flakes included.
I am dealing with a lead like that now. As someone looking to apply for a position with a tech company, do you have any suggestions?
This would be brilliant because she won't be able to bitch and admit she regifted the wine.
Isn't that why nice restaurants let you smell the cork and take a sip before pouring a glass?
I have a musty smell from cork taint.
Well, that explains the beer that tasted like a skunk fart.
Who else came here to find out what skunking wine is?
More like our Province. Brother-in-law. Bride has the hallmarks of one of those stories. AITA. I am a winemaker. I don't see how this would ruin a bottle of wine. Although wine is often pasteurized at 170 F.
No sulfites added by the winery. So the wine she received should have been tainted and skunked. The gold standard of wine for a shit person.
Saying that as so perfect for that perfect someone you're repicturing in your head right now. I should clarify that my use of vinegar here is meant more as a derogatory term. For shit wine along the same lines as swill wretch barn swill. The fine buttercup of wine.
It is sad, but I am surprised, and I am always wondering why in America almost
Everybody is using opiates, and why if there is another option which is weed?
They just want the opioid shit.
I have been there, and it is hard to imagine that these
people even exist until you're stuck with working with. And even worse if they are a manager, which unfortunately was for me as well.
Okay, thanks for the advice.
Glad I wasn't the only one.
The first thing that came to mind was Maritz.
Great wines can be $1.20 or less. Won't your dad face any problems with the competition laws in place?
It's just fucking addictive. They always end craving for more. I will mention the heroin first.
Most stores will take it back too.
And doesn't tea wine turn to vinegar because of bacteria, not temperature change?
Raises hand. I wouldn't say what I thought it meant. That's wonderful.
skunked beer is caused by light and not heat.
That is correct. Wine definitely changes with heat, but it isn't skunked.
It is best to imagine that one bottle of off-wine being
the straw that broke the weird old broad's back.
Would love this.
Would love to do this to my current boss. He is insufferable and talks shit
about the boys on my team. Thanks Op for the idea.
Okay, but say mid these wine terms lol.
Best way to change alcohol to vinegar is exposure to air source fermentation. Hobbyist.
That's some gym level prank there, sir. Well done.
A shitty manager or management can take very product proud happy employees
and turn them into unhappy and productive messes in a hurry. Absolutely hilarious.
I don't know why, but I thought he put a dookie in it.
I've made it out of there finally. I miss the guys I used to work with, but isn't much. Better atmosphere and I can make money without exacerbating any health issues.
Also, every position is pretty damn good and really interesting.
Our Justices will enjoy this one too.
I don't think there is anything petty about the story.
I thought that what sub this was when I read it.
What does this stand for?
Thank you for the idea.
But then it would be clearly tampered with.
Just saying.
I wish I could do this with the same result. To my terrible co-worker.
Nice one, shitty wine for a shitty manager, simply poetic.
She was far more toxic than the wine you gave her.
Good job, hopefully that manager learned her lesson.
Played for and got well done.
Now this is epic.
That's awesome.
How did you give it twice? This is not a confession, this is an award ceremony that is awesome.
Well, what kind of wine was it, since everyone else loved it? I would like to try it.
This is awesome. The only thing that could have made this story better would have been if
you told her you ruined her bottle on purpose.
I like this one. It's a little light-hearted vengeance.
What if she drank it and died now?
Haha, love it. I don't think he should feel bad at all. It was a prank too.
A mean person, and it's not like the wine was the thing that got her. Find no worries, mate, in my book.
Hope you don't feel bad, cause I sure won't lol.
The title made me think you opened the wine, farted in it, bottled it up and gave it to her.
This is pretty awesome, and the fact she got fired soon.
After is icing on the cake.
I gotta be honest, being known as the guy who gives shit wine even to my enemies. It's just something I cultivated.
Okay, I'm sure you can skunk wine, but that's already a comment. We'd consider that our problems the psychological component of
being isolated like that with everyone else being totally ignorant of what was actually going on was a master stroke.
This makes you the Clark Kent of the office, you hear you.
My favorite part is how the cheap wine was the talk of the coworkers after their time off.
Should be on.
This is amazing. Can't believe Op wants to kill me.
Till you can turn wine into vinegar, thanks.
How did that happened?
That isn't how you skunk a bottle of $20 pasteurized wine, but okay, I am sure it worked.
That's hilarious.
You forgot the part where everyone was clapping at the end.
Poisoning food of another is straight diabolical.